In several videos, I have consistently dropped the hint to not take off of people's altars. And I always say that because you never know where you're going to see an altar, because sometimes people are able to make it blend into their home so naturally that you may not know it's an altar. You may just think it's a cute little entryway dresser that always has a candle burning, when in actuality, all those pieces of decor actually have a meaning and are dedicated to a certain deity, spirit, or ancestor. So sometimes it can be a little confusing as to what's an altar because they all look different. For example, if you get your nails done, I'm sure you have seen these somewhere up in the place, or seen this plant somewhere up in the place. These are all sacred areas dedicated to whatever spirit that person has it for, or for whatever meaning. But I'm consistently telling you guys, do not take off of people's altar. It may just seem like you're taking from that person, but you're taking from that spirit. So not only do you have to suffer the consequences of that person that you stole from, but the spirit or spirits as well. Hello you all, I'm BlaqueWitchYaya. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. And if you feel like I am yelling a little bit in this video, I am. I'm going to try to talk louder from now until the end of August because y'all, it is 100 degrees. It is hot and I take pride in how my videos look and sound. But for the next couple months, y'all are going to hear this airy sound in the background because usually I can film without my AC. If I let my studio cool down for a few hours, I'm able to sit here, film for about 30-45 minutes and be able to turn the AC back on. But y'all, these videos I have coming up are a lot longer because I see you guys like longer videos, which means I need to film for longer, and I'm doing this right before summer. I tried to film this video without my AC and you can just see me turn sweaty, and I don't like sweating. I ain't gonna lie, I do not like sweating. Hopefully this sound doesn't sound too bad. Y'all let me know. I can invest in a different mic to try to, you know, knock out the wind. But today, you guys, out of all places, we are in Portland, Oregon. Thank you to, we're going to call her Erica, who sent me this nice, y'all, when y'all send me stories, the layout of this story is how I want the story to be. Thank you to Erica. She written out this story like she was talking to me like I'm her homegirl. I'm like, this is how I want the stories written. It comes out so smoothly. So thank you to Erica for sharing this story. You know who you are. We're going to call her Erica in this video. Even if you guys tell me to use your real names, I will not. Because years from now, if y'all be like, I want my stuff out there, it's always under a fake name. But today we are in Portland, Oregon, where 28-year-old Erica lives. Now she does well for herself, especially with her being in her 20s. She lives on her own in her own apartment located in a historic building near Forest Park. She chose this location because it's a blend of modern convenience and spiritual serenity. Erica is a spiritual girly, obviously, if she watching me, and always felt a deep connection to nature and the spirits within nature since she was a kid. As she got older, she grew stronger in her spiritual connection, understanding. She decided to honor these spirits even more. Now, Erica is the child of Ogun. She dedicated an altar to him in her apartment, where she is consistently feeding him and honoring him with candles, crystals, offerings, and money. And not gonna lie, y'all, when she listed out the things that she does for her altar, I was like, I need to step my game up, because Erica has certain days where she gives certain treats to her altar, so they know, like, okay, on Thursdays we get a slice of cake, on Saturdays we get this, and she's on schedule with it and she's consistent with it. She cleans off her altar once a week. She replenishes things on certain days at certain times. She's very strict with it, and I was like, I need to step my game up. Like, hopefully spirit knows my heart, because I'm sure all of us have experienced, you know, you leave fruit on the altar too long and next thing you know, it's a little moldy, got a couple gnats, you know. Now, getting into Erica's personal business, she is in a relationship with 30-year-old Alex from New York. Overall, he is what people would consider a good guy. He's ambitious, a gentleman, graduated at the top of his class in high school, college. He's tall, dark, and handsome. Well, not dark. Okay, so throughout the story, keep in mind, Alex is white, Erica is Hispanic. So the two met at a mutual friend's party, and despite their differences, it was almost love at first sight. Alex was attracted to Erica's mysterious nature, and Erica saw potential in Alex's determination and drive. However, I'm sure we have all learned not to fall in love with potential, right? So along with all the great qualities that Alex has, he was working, but he found himself consistently in internship positions that will start and end, leaving him with time periods of not working, and none of the internships were turning into permanent positions. But Erica knew that was the name of the game. When it comes to tech companies, you got to get in, take the knowledge, take it to another company, and just build your resume. And she knew tech is cutthroat. They'll use up all your naivete and your energy, you being a newbie, ambitious, take your ideas, and when they're done with you and it's actually time to pay you real money, they'll say, okay, well, the internship has come to an end and now you're left hunting for another job. And that's exactly what Alex was going through. But one thing that Erica did notice about Alex was each time the internship would end, he would enter into this irritable phase until the next time he was hired for a new internship. He wouldn't want to talk to her as much. He was short of patience. And when she would have good news from her job, she was a sales rep for a really big popular company, she felt like she couldn't share it because he wouldn't be truly happy for her because of how stressed out he was about his finances. And it came off in the form of jealousy. Like he would try to downplay it like, oh, I wish I could do what you do and just sit around and sell commercials and jingles all day. That would make life a lot easier. And she would be thinking, do you know how many meetings I had to sit in? Do you know how many dinners I had to take this person to? Do you know how many phone calls I had to make to get this deal? And he would just make it sound like it was just easy money. Erica, being very patient, she extended him a lot of grace because she knew he was under a lot of stress. But Alex's remarks wouldn't sit well with her. She knew how hard she worked for the job. She was the youngest in the building, so people in the office already didn't take her too seriously anyway. So a little background with Erica, she's the first generation in this country, in America, to go to college and to land a job where she's making this much money. So she works to take care of her and her mom. She doesn't need to take care of her mom, but that's just a goal that she has since growing up, seeing her mom have a hard time finding work because she didn't speak English that well. And sometimes she would work for people who took advantage of the fact that she didn't read or speak English too well, just thinking she was dumb. But her mom was able to stay home while her dad worked, and she did alterations for people here and there. She did some cleaning here and there just to bring in a little extra money, but it was optional. But that inspired Erica to continue making sure that her mom had an easy life just because she's seen how mean people can be to her. So her parents aren't a financial burden to her, but her goal was to retire them and just make their life even easier. And she knew how much manifesting she did to land this job. So like I said, she's very spiritual. So the big old altar in her house stays with candles, candy, money, fresh food, fresh fruit, because she is consistently feeding her spirit so they can feed her and keep her fed, which is a good quality to have because you never want to ask spirit for something, giving them everything they ask for, and as soon as they bless you, you're like, all right, deuces, because they'll take it right away. You have to give continuous thanks for continuous blessings. So Erica made sure to consistently feed her spirits. Now, how often you should feed your spirits on your altar is completely up to you. Sometimes you'll get a feeling like, okay, I got a random taste for a coconut cake. Maybe that's what my spirit's asking for. They will send you signals and remind you that it's time to feed them, and you want to make a habit out of it just so it becomes natural to you, because you'll notice sometimes when you neglect your spirits, you'll feel like you're neglecting yourself as well. So take care of them as you take care of yourself. Don't make it feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta burn a candle, oh my gosh, I gotta fix them a plate. Do it where it's natural to you, where you do it without thinking and you're continuously feeding them. So when you go to your altar for prayer, manifestation, or clarity, the spirit is consistently being fed, so they're up and ready to feed you back. So for Erica, she was consistently paying attention to her spirits and tending to her altar, because if it wasn't for them, she wouldn't have the things she possesses now. So with that appreciation, she decided that she should help her boyfriend Alex the same way she did for herself. She was thinking, maybe I can dress a money candle for him and teach him how to write out a manifestation and have him burn it on my altar. Maybe that'll help him. Maybe he just needs a little push to get him going. So one thing Erica and I have in common, we both dress money candles. So if you would like a money candle, you can get yours from BlaqueWitchYaya.com. Now, Alex doesn't practice any type of religion or spiritual practice. He believes in God, and that's about it. He's more of a physical world focused type of person, and whatever happens, happens. He didn't judge other people's practices. He just never committed to one or felt the need to study one. So Erica knew he would be open to it because he really isn't against anything, but open to everything. So one night she invited him over for dinner, and she shared the idea, love, I know you've been working really hard to find work, so I was wondering if I could whip up a candle and burn it for you. You'll be able to write out what you want the outcome to be, but you can place it on my altar, give it an offering, and just let it burn. It may take a few, but I think it's worth a try. Alex is nodding his head, listening. Then he's like, I'm sorry, on your what? An altar, like in a church? No, my altar. I have it here. Come. Alex never seen her altar before because she keeps it hidden in the nook in her apartment. Right before you go on the balcony, there's a side door that opens, and it's usually meant to be like a type of storage for some apartments, but she used it for her prayer closet, her altar closet. So when she opens the door, Alex just sees a bunch of candles lit up, random blood stains, pieces of iron, statues of people he never seen before, shiny crystals laid out, incense burning. He didn't want to seem judgmental, so he's like, okay, so my candle would go somewhere up in here, then one of your spirits will give me a job. That's how it goes. Erica's like, not exactly, but close enough. We can do it now if you want, but only if you're up to it. I don't want to force you to do it now, because if you don't believe in it, it's not going to work. It's just an idea. You don't have to do it. I just thought it might help. So Alex sees the concern on her face. He's like, no. Listen, you're a good person. I trust you. Your life seems pretty great. So let's get this candle ritual burning. So Erica is excited. She's gathering all of her supplies, laying them out on her kitchen counter, running back and forth to her altar closet to the counter, which I would be too, because it's nothing like teaching someone candle magic for the first time and being able to see their reaction when things start to work and explaining the steps in the process. It's an exciting experience. So she's explaining each item and then tells him to write out what he wants his life to look like financially, health wise, but be very detailed and write it as if you already have it, because it's important when manifesting or doing spell work. You want to write as is and not as if. In this example, you would say, I am enjoying my new job at the ABC tech company. I am able to go on vacation, work stress free, pay all my bills with ease, and take care of my family. Write as if it's already reality. Don't put, I want a new job, I want to take care of my family, because it shows neediness and desperation. Write as if you deserve it and you already possess it, because if you write as is, it's sending a signal to the universe, oh, it's already happening, so let's bring it to reality, because those words have to manifest. You can want all day, but once you have it, you will have it. So to Erica's surprise, Alex went to work. He grabbed that pen and he spent about 30 minutes writing. She was shocked that he was taking it seriously and not blowing it off like it was something just fun to do, or an arts and craft project. But once he was done, she had him fold the paper, add some DNA, and she told him, well, since you're putting it on my altar, you'll need to give an offering. And Alex is like, an offering like what? Well, my spirits like money and grapefruit, but I'm out of that, so money. I'm reading this and I'm like, I know that's right. My spirits like money, period. Alex got his wallet out his back pocket. He opened it up and he knew the money he had in his wallet was all the money he had to his name, because he took his money out of his account. So like basically the bills can stop biting at it and he could just have something to spend until he gets his next job. So he took all of his $300 that he had left and he put it beside his candle. And he said, Spirit, you know what to do. So before this story goes left, this is actually a nice gesture that he is giving his all into this and showing that he really trusts the process. He gave his last 300. That's a grand gesture, and the intention behind it is very nice. And before the rest of the story happened, I'm sure Spirit would have blessed him tremendously without having to teach him a lesson, just because he gave his last. Now, I would not suggest that, because sometimes I'm like, well, be realistic. You need you a couple dollars just to last you until something happened. But give an amount that shows that you believe in what's about to happen. Don't just give $1. Don't just give $2. If you know someone is doing free readings, don't just give them 50 cents and be like, well, you said donations. Actually give something that's meaningful, you know? So the candle that was burned was a 7-day candle. But if you're a little impatient, I have a 3-day money candle on BlaqueWitchYaya.com. But to Alex, each day felt like a week. He would come over, look at the candle, and it seemed like it wasn't moving. But Erica gave him the rundown, like, listen, don't worry about the candle, don't worry about the outcome. But this is his first time doing candle magic, so he's like, did I do it right? Is it not burning fast enough? But by the 3rd day, he was calm and cool and he was going with the flow. So from Erica's perspective, it seemed that Alex was more relaxed. He didn't have the, oh my god, I don't have a job type stress that he usually has. He seemed a little bit okay. He was at peace. So the candle was burning really well, leaving white smut behind as it went down, so it was going good. So when doing candle magic, there are different things that will happen to let you know how your ritual is going. One, which is a good sign, is white smut. As the candle is burning, or when the candle has finished burning, the white smut might indicate that your intentions have been heard and that success or blessings are forthcoming. White smut could be a sign that divine or angelic beings have acknowledged your ritual and are present, offering guidance or support. White residue might also indicate that your intentions have been heard by spirit and they are currently working on it. So the white smut was there around the candle, so things were looking good. Alex was feeling more confident in interviews. He was able to find find new job postings easily, and he didn't feel discouraged when reading the qualifications. So Alex came over like usual. They have nights where they'll binge and watch a series, have dinner. So this is pretty normal. So he came over for that. They had a good time. They both ended up falling asleep on the couch. Then Alex was awakened by a beep, 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 which was normal in her complex because cars would park without a tag and they would constantly get towed. But this beeperization sounded closer than usual. He slowly got up to not wake Erica up. He looked out the window and he seen his truck was getting towed. He rushed downstairs and he was confused because he has a visitor's pass and it was never a problem before, which is what he told the tow truck driver, like, hey, I have my pass right there on the dashboard. What's going on? So the tow truck driver is like, oh, I'm not here for a parking violation. You're behind on your payments. Which this was not new news to Alex because he's been parking his car at his parents' house in the garage since he's been behind on his payments to not get his car taken. And he would walk, because they live in the same neighborhood, and he would walk to his house at night, wake up early in the morning, walk to his parents' house to get his car, and then park in the garage at whatever internship he was at the moment. But he thought he was safe at Erica's complex because there's no way they will look for him there. But it seems like they caught on to his pattern. But anywho, however that works, Alex is trying to negotiate with the guy. Listen, man, I'm between jobs. I'm working on the job now. As soon as I start back, my first check is going to go to the payment. I just need a few more weeks. And while he's talking, the tow truck driver is lowering the bed of the truck and he's looking like, all right, yeah, sure. So the tow truck driver, he's just taking him as a joke. Like, listen, I understand, man, but I need to make money so I can pay for my car note. So you want to hand me the keys? Or, and Alex like, ugh. Well, how much are they paying you for this? You need to make money, right? So how much do you get paid for a pickup like this? And the tow truck driver is like, this is an easy 100. And Alex says, I'll give you 200. And the tow truck driver is like, I mean, okay, where it's at? And Alex is like, yeah, just hold on, give me a sec, put all that back up. I'll be back. Let me just grab my wallet. So Alex made his way back up to Erica's apartment. She's still asleep. So remember, like I said, Alex gave all his money to Spirit for that ritual. So what $200 is he about to go back up there and grab? We don't know. When I was reading this, I'm like, is he about to go in her purse? Because in my head, I'm like, that's the only option because there's no way you about to take it off the altar. So when he goes to the area where his candle is, mind you, Erica has a bunch of candles up there. So just from first glance, you probably got to be like, okay, which one is mine? But he walks up to his where he knew he placed his petition and everything. And he sees that his candle is done burning. So in his head, he's like, okay, perfect timing. Spirit is done working. The candle's done. I'm just going to take 200 and not the full 3. I could use the full 3, but I'm going to just take 2, pay this tow truck driver, and then I'll bring it back as soon as I get it. And like I said, mind you, the candle is still hot because even when he scooted it out the way to get his 200, he almost burnt himself. So the candle just finished burning in that moment. And to me, I'm like, it's so eerie that the candle is done burning as soon as he tested to see if he's going to take the money. So Alex knew he shouldn't be taking it, but he's trying to make sense of it in his head. He's like, okay, so just 200 now, or I could keep the car for a few more weeks, or if he takes it, I'm gonna have to pay to get my car back, pay to catch up on all these payments that I missed. So it's 200 now or thousands later. So in his head, the 200 now made more sense. He runs back downstairs to pay off the repo man to keep his car for a few more weeks. The next morning, he says goodbye to his girlfriend Erica and heads home. So a couple days later, Alex is driving over to Erica's house and he gets a call from a random number. Hi, is this Alex? Alex is scared to say yes because he knows he's behind on several bills. So he's like, who's speaking? Oh, well, I'm Amber from 123 Tech Company. We recently had an interview with you. We were really impressed by the answers you gave and your experience, and your resume has just outshined the rest. So we wanted to offer you a full-time position as a software developer. And of course, he accepts the job. Now he's speeding over to Erica's house to tell her. He knocks on the door and he couldn't even hold it in. He's like, I got the job. They just called. I got the job. It's way more than I expected. I thought this job was just way out of my league. I honestly filled it out just to try to get experience with the interview to see what they're going to ask me. But I actually got it. The candle worked. Erica is so excited because she knew how hard he worked to get to this point. They ended up celebrating that night. The night before he started his new job, he picked out his suit, his cologne, washed his hair. He was ready like the first day of school, to only wake up the next morning feeling a little heavy, not bloated, but sluggish. He got enough sleep because he went to bed really early because how excited he was. He didn't want to risk waking up late. He knew it was a good day ahead, but he just felt like a heavy presence over him. You know the feeling you have when you get bad news? He felt that, but there wasn't any bad news. He pushed himself to get ready, walked to his parents' house to get his car, and headed to his new job. He tried to chug down his coffee and blast his favorite music to get his mood up, but nothing seemed to work. Erica called to wish him good luck on the first day. He said, "Thanks, babe," and she noticed an odd tone in his voice. Asked what was wrong. He said, "I don't know. I just feel off. Like I'm grateful, but I don't know where my excitement went." Erica is like, "Oh, I'm sure it's just the first day nerves. You'll be okay." And Alex is like, "Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm just a little nervous, a little anxious. But I love you and I'll stop by when I get off." Erica is like, "Perfect. See you then. Have a good day." But mind you, when Erica had this conversation with Alex, she's looking directly at her altar. She sees the money is missing, but she can't say anything. Spirit wanted her to just be quiet to see if he would keep his word. Like I said, she tends to her altar every day, so she's constantly in communication with spirit. She's constantly receiving messages from her spirit. So she knows when something is off, and she tends to it so much, she can visibly see when something is missing. No matter how cluttered it may look to the naked eye, she's able to look and be like, someone moved my amethyst a little too close to the left, or someone moved this over, or someone did something with this. She's able to notice it. So she was able to receive the message from her spirit very clearly. Don't say anything. Let's just see if he'll keep his word. Because in my head, I'm thinking maybe spirit like, okay, so you a little naive. We're not going to punish you too much right away, but let's just see, do you keep your word? Because mind you, once you give money to spirit, that's spirit money. That's no longer yours. So Erica is trying to keep her cool. On one end, she's pissed off that Alex would take something from her altar. But on the other hand, she's like, I'm sure he wouldn't take it if it wasn't something major. He doesn't know the rules yet, so I'm sure it was not personal. Now, if he took it from her purse, she probably would have. But she's like, okay, so maybe he thought it was still his. Maybe he just doesn't know how this works exactly. So she's trying to give him grace, because her spirits don't seem that upset yet. So she's like, okay, if they're cool, I'm gonna play it cool too. So I'm sure you guys are expecting the rest of this story to go. He got in a car crash on his way to work. His co-workers hated him. His manager was a douchebag. He got fired on the first week. But no, to my surprise, because I was expecting the same thing when reading this email, everything went relatively easy for the most part. But no, he liked his office, he liked his team, the job was easier than he thought. Everything he asked for so far, he got. So as the days are going on, Erica is expecting some bad news as well, because she knows what Alex did, but she has to play like she doesn't know. But here comes his first payday. Alex is excited to finally catch up on all his bills. He's paying everything up to date, and he still has a bunch of money left over, because he was real specific in his manifestation about the amount he wanted to make. So the amount he put is way more than he actually needs. So he told Erica, oh, it feels so good not to have to worry about credit cards, car payment, internet, rent, light bills. Everything is back on schedule. Erica's like, so great, you paid all of your bills, right? Alex is like, yeah, just said the rent, car note, internet. And Erica's like, okay, so yep, that's all your debt, right? Yep, that's all my debt. We're caught up, we're in the clear. Erica is still not able to say anything, so she's like, good. Well, let me fix some food for my ancestors. I'll be back. She said it thinking it would remind him like, oh shoot, I gotta pay her ancestors. I gotta pay her spirits. But he's like, okay, take your time, and he just sits back and watch TV. So Erica's making her spirits food, and she's like, is he really not... Like, did he really forget? And mind you, she's not wanting the money for herself. She's wanting him to pay back the money because she know what could happen. So he had the entire payday to remember to pay spirit back, but he didn't. So now spirit has to step in and teach some lessons. A betrayal had been committed and balance had to be restored. It felt refreshing for Alex to be able to hop in his car in his driveway rather than walking a few blocks to his parents' house, but his car didn't start. No problem, I'll Uber to work and figure it out later. After work, he called his dad over to take a look under the hood, and he just needed a new battery. No problem, I got a new job, I got some extra money, I'll get a new battery and pop this bad boy in. A week later, his car was running hot. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what the next few car hiccups mean, and neither did Erica when sending this email, but I'll just list off what he had going on with his truck. It was overheating, a radiator needed to be replaced, something about coolant, new tires need to be purchase, something with the engine, heater wasn't heating, and all of this happened within a span of a month. And this is a good correlation because exactly what he stole the money for is now what is milking him out of his money. Like, okay, you stole money from spirit for this car, now all your money about to go to this car since it's so important, right? Now all of your money about to go to it. And Erica was shocked that she was able to put two and two together and figure out he stole money for something to deal with his car, because that's where all his money was now going. And Alice is like, I think I just need a new car. And Erica's like, oh my, is this man? So Erica prayed to her spirits to give him grace, but the issue didn't stop, and Alex wasn't sitting as comfortably with his money as he was before. So he's still acting oblivious until one night at Erica's house, they're having dinner, watching the series like they usually do, and then he hears a beep, beep, beep. And Erica jokingly says, uh-oh, somebody about to get towed. And Alex's eyes got wide and he rushed outside to his car. The same tow truck driver from before saw him running out the building, and he said, don't worry, man, it's not you this time. And he just laughed it off. But he wasn't even there for him. He ran past him, hopped in his car, and rushed to the nearest ATM, got some cash out, and came back to Erica's house. And Erica is wondering why he up and left. Like, if it's not your car, what was the rush? What was the hesitation? You said you paid all your bills. He's like, oh, I thought it was my car. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't. And Erica's like, it took you 15 minutes to realize it wasn't your car and you could look out the window? And he's like, yeah, well, Erica, honestly, I was gonna put this back when you went to sleep. And he pulls out $1,000 in cash. I stole from your altar. Not all of this money. I want to put this money back because I took $200 to pay that same tow truck driver out there not to take my car, because the last time I was here when we were watching TV, he was about to tow my car because I was so behind. I didn't have any cash on me because I put it all on your altar. I told them I would put it back, but I didn't. I was just so happy to have a new job, and I was worried about the bills to the point where I didn't worry about the debt I owed Spirit. It just slipped my mind. I didn't want to tell you because I know how you are with this spiritual stuff, but I stole from your altar. And Erica is just listening to him talk, like, and he's like, but from your reaction, I figure you already knew that I did. And Erica's like, yeah, I know. Go handle your business. Alex went over to Erica's altar and prayed for forgiveness and offered $1,000 in replace of the $200. And every check since that day, he drops money off or food off to the spirits as a thanks. Not that he felt guilty, but he just seemed like, okay, this spirit stuff actually works, so let me actually dedicate things to it. I don't trust myself to have my own, but you know, it works, so let me just continue to pay Spirit so Spirit can pay me, basically. And y'all, this is a very light case compared to what could have happened and compared to what I have seen happen when someone stole from a shoe altar, which will be a future story that I keep mentioning, but I actually need to do it. This is a very light case. I am like, Erica ancestors are the sweetest people in the world, because this could have ended horribly, because in general, you should just naturally know not to steal from people. Even though he's naive to taking from Spirit is the same or even worse than taking from people, in my head I'm like, well, you knew it was wrong, so why'd you do it? But in that sense, it's like, well, what else did you expect him to do? And I also would like to know the prayers that Erica was doing in the process, like saying, hey, give him some grace, he don't mean it. But I wanted to share this story even though it is a lighter case. I wanted this to be the first introduction to what happens when you steal from Spirit, just because I know in general spirituality, working with spirits can be scary, and sometimes you just associate everything with scary movies, like, oh my gosh, if I steal from Spirit, next thing you know, they're going to be all ganged up in my bedroom when I wake up. Don't think of it as a scary, they're going to attack you experience. Sometimes you do just learn lessons, because spirits, ancestors, in this case Orisha, if you know their pot of keys, their story, they make mistakes and hiccups too, so they do give grace. It's not automatically you stole from me, so attack. Depending on the intentions will depend on the lessons and the retaliation. So I wanted this to be the first one because I know it's real scary, like, oh my God, I don't want to start hearing voices, oh my gosh, I don't want Spirit to be mad at me. Spirit understands intention, your heart, and just know that you have to learn lessons in general. So don't think everything is going to lead to an attack and a demon is going to possess you. So I wanted to start off with this story. Thank you so much to Erica for sharing this story. This was a very wholesome story that teaches you not to steal from Spirit and the connections and the correlations that your punishment will have with the actual act of crime, we'll say. But let me know what you guys think about this story down below. Have you ever had a situation where someone stole from your altar? If it's a juicy story, email me at BlaqueWitchYaya@gmail.com so I can share it on this channel. But let me know any lessons that you had to learn from taking from spirit or not giving spirit what you said you would give them, and what happened in the end. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video, and like I always say, as above so below, as within so without, as the universe so the soul. Until next time, you guys, I